let's first create the design on Photoshop, and then we'll convert this into HTML and CSS. So the speciality of this video is we would be using Flexbox, so automatically it would be responsive. Fine. If you are wondering how the final output will look like, this video will be approximately 1 hour long, so get into the final 10 minutes or final 5 minutes of the video to see the final output. Fine, let's get into it. The first thing, let's create a new file. So I want the width, let's say the height, to be larger than the width, because we will be creating 2 sections. The first one 1800, and the width is going to be 1200. So since it is 1800, we can make it 900 by 900, top and bottom. So we'll do it. It is creating this would be the first half and this would be the second half. Let's create a new layer. Press U for the gradient, press G for the gradient, and I want the color to be, let's select a color first. White. Let's add some radium green color. Okay. Press G since we are in the new layer. Press G and drag it. Press U to make a rectangle, and now select the rectangle. Control and click on this layer. Press G again. Now let's create a new layer. So I think we have to convert this into a rasterize layer. Then press G. Fine, that seems to be alright. So if you want a bit more, drag it from bottom to top. Great, we're leaving it. Press G. Now we need to create 3 squares. So let's make it white. Sorry, it's not a square, it's a rectangle. Press Ctrl T, and now import an image. Press Ctrl O. We have an image. We'll use this image. I don't know what is this image, who is in this image. I just downloaded it and I'm using it. And now use the pen tool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now zoom in a bit. Select the layer and use anchor tag. Press A. And now we can convert this into what we needed actually. We need a sharp edge. So just make this as a clipping mask. Make it as a create clipping mask. That doesn't look great. Let's create a clipping mask now. Let's try and see how does it looks. So let's use the blending option. Let's use a stroke. Let the stroke color be greenish. Press V Now let's type T on this layer. We need to add a name, so let's give my name itself. We have to make this black. Press V. Now what we can do is press T again, not here, on the new layer. What is this shape? We don't need this shape, delete it. This is image rectangle, so let's try to give, let us make this as a clipping mask. Now let's rasterize the layer so that we can give blending options. Drop shadow, click on it, and we need a slight drop shadow. Press OK. Distance OK again. Now we have a curve. Press V. Not this rectangle, we need this shape tool. We'll use brush tool. Click on this or convert into layer, Ctrl D, rasterize layer. Now use the brush tool, make sure white is selected. Backspace, no, not here. What we actually need is, so instead of adding stroke, we'll remove the stroke. What we can do is just duplicate this layer. We'll make it as a layer by, sorry, it's actually a layer. Press Ctrl J again and create a clipping mask again, and this time we'll make this, press here. What we are going to do is we are going to change the color of it. Double click here, select the color, we'll select this dark color, Alt Enter, we'll drag it at the bottom. Now press V. Press T again, Ctrl D. Now you see this is the shape. Press E or press Ctrl T. Great. Now we'll add this shadow, blending option, drop shadow. We want the drop shadow to appear at the top, from top. We'll cancel it. Now press T, click on a new layer, make sure it is at the top. We have T and then this, drag it, paste the lorem ipsum content, change the color and decrease the font size. Control T. We want a slight padding inside it, so I'm just dragging it. Select all. Okay. We have to delete some of the words. Click on the ribsum, Control T, delete it. Okay, press V again. That's great. Now if you want, we can add a button. Press U. Press T again and type on a new layer. T. Let's type view profile. Now we'll make this color darkish. Now select these two and press V. Vertical and horizontally center. Now if you want, rasterize this layer and add a blending option. Let's try to add box shadow. Well, that's great. Color slightly low. Okay. And now what we have to do is we just have to group this, except this till here, G. If I hide it, it is gone. We need to have this guy inside the group. So if you see, we have to press G, that's it. Sorry, we have to press Ctrl J, that means we are going to duplicate this. So where is the text view profile? We have to make it at the top. Ctrl J again, press V, drag it, make sure the group is selected, press V again, drag it 2, Ctrl J again, drag it 3, Ctrl minus, press V again, first, second, third, and we are going to use Flexbox. Well, that will be an interesting topic to cover. Choose the second guy, convert it to layer, drag it and paste it on top of here. Now we have to use this, delete this and make it as a clipping mask. Create clipping mask, press V. Now we have to make this as a layer, press V and then choose it as a layer so that we can individually select the layers. Control T, press V. That's it. So I think the clipping mask is released. Create clipping mask and again press V, select this. The clipping mask is already created. Create clipping mask. Fine, that's working. Now let's add another image the same way. So these are the images of Indian CEOs. Copy the third one, Where is this image? This 1, 2, and we are on the right path. Delete this. Create clipping mask. Like it's already been created. Press Ctrl T and just auto size it. Well, the first part is done. Now let's work on the second part, which is again is going to be easy. Now create a new layer. Let's place it at the top. Now press U. This is going to be first rectangle. No. Select no. Let's open all the other images, which is going to be the dishes. One. Open it. Mouth watering dishes. Convert it into layer. Press V. I said press V. Create clipping mask. Press T again. Make sure to fit the screen. Control O. Great. Control group it. Let's make it image. Control J. Press V. Drag it. I want the group to be selected instead of single layers. Press V again. Now again this is called. Now let's work on the other image. Make it as a layer. Press V, drag it and drop it. Create clipping mask. Press T, Control T. Now the second, which is going to be the full width. Remove this. Press V. For that, make it as a layer. Press V. Drag it and drop it. Let's create a clipping mask. Press Control T. We'll just make this fit. Control T again. Group this. Group this. Now press U again. Select this. Press U again, and finally let's fit our last side dish, one of Indians' favorite side dish. Create a clipping mask. Control T. Samosa. This is called samosa. Well, make this as a group. Now let's select all of it, drag it and paste it inside it. This is the whole section. Let's select it, press V. So let's add a title, new layer, tea, our famous dishes. Select it and increase the font size. Press U again to make an underline. Control T. Select this, cancel, press V again. I'm pressing C instead of V, that's the reason crop is coming up. Press V, we need a slight little space. Yeah, this one. Instead of group, let's make it layer. Select these two guys, press V. Group is getting selected. I want a slide gap. So here as well we have a slide gap. Now let's try to give the gradient for the bottoms. New layer, create a rectangle, start from here until down. We don't want the fill, we want the fill to be none. Now click on a gradient, convert or rasterize it to layer so that we can use gradient. Rasterize layer. When I rasterize, what happens, you see? This J will not work until we rasterize it. Let's create a new layer just below it. And now what we can do is click on this and press G again. Well, what we can do is we have to drop this just below. Press G again. Now that seems awesome. Control semicolon. So if you want, you can press Control T, and we don't want this shape. Anytime we can manage the shape. Press G again, selecting the layer, make it white. So we'll leave it, it would be too much, or else we have to rework it. So that seems awesome. We are going to convert this into HTML and CSS with the help of Flexbox. HTML, so what are the things we have? We have used the inline style sheet, and then we have Google font, which is Roboto, and that's it. Now let's open this in our browser to see how does it look. At present everything is blank, you should see nothing except the title on the tab. Now we want two sections, so we'll create a container that we'll call it as main. Inside main we will have directors, and then we will have dishes. So call the main. Before that I have removed padding and margin, and I have this box size border box, and then added to all the elements font Roboto. So this is an ID, and here the height is going to be 200 vertical height, and width is going to be 200 vertical width. And after that you should see we have two divs. The first one is director and the second one is dishes. Except the height, everything is going to be same, 100%. Now linear gradient, so we can use background linear gradient, green and white. Refresh it. This is how it looks. To get the actual color, just get into the Chrome inspector, pick a color, that's it, use it. Let's see how does it looks. Cool. The same way, and this time it is going to be white first and then comes the green. I think we have given the right name. Let's check what is the issue. Actually it is 200 pixel. Let's see where we are falling wrong. We'll make this 100%. Then see. We have a director and the dish. It is not applied. Why? I think that's a problem with the color. Now it would work. Great. So the width is just 100. Height 200 and width 100%. Great. We have removed margin and padding and used border size. And if you want, you can make overflow hidden. Overflow Y hidden. Actually it's x-axis. Horizontal scroll bar. It is coming something. Let's see where we are getting it. Let's try to add this to director and dishes. We'll come on it in a minute. So let's start with the card design, which is pretty straightforward. We will have row. Inside row we will have column. Inside column we will have image folder. We'll have image. Can get it on the imgs folder 11.jpg, and then again and another image which will be curve.png. You see it is available outside, so let's see how does it looks. and then we have content, and this will have h3 with my name, and then some paragraph with lorem 25 text. Great. Now let's work on it. We are going to use the flex property now. Inside director we have row, inside row we have call, inside call we have image holder, and then we have images, and then we have h3 and paragraph. h3 paragraph, we again need a anchor tag, hash view profile, no change. Now we have to get the director and give margin or width of 80%. We have to give this to the row. And make it appear at the center. So for that, call the parent margin auto and 0. Now we have row. We'll make this display flex, and inside row we have column flex basis 25%. And the row will have background white. Actually it's a column that will have the background white. Great. Now call the image row. Likewise, if you want, you can add 3 more columns, 2 and 3. This is going to be 22 and this is going to be 33, since we have different images. What happened to 33.jpg? It's actually 333. Great. We have given max width of 20%. Image holder will have width of 300 pixel and height of 300 pixel. Position relative, because we are going to position the second image absolute, and then overflow hidden. Just refresh it, see how does it looks. Width of 100%, height of 100%. Object fit contain cover let's work on it. I don't need 1000, we just need 100. Great. Now since we are using position relative on parent, length child, call the second one and give position absolute bottom of 0. Set index 1 Let's see where it is. Curve.png. Let's remove the overflow and check. Actually, position absolute should come for the image holder. Yeah, that's right. Left 0, width of 100% and height of 100%. Great, that fits. Just copy the whole thing and paste it. Well, that seems to be working. Now we need some gap. So to get the gap, where we have used flex, there we can use gap of 2 rem. We'll use cover. Great. Now if you want, we can use padding to it, padding bottom for the column. Great. Then we have box shadow. So instead of dark black, we'll add some grayish. Great. Call this on the column. The column is over here. Now let's try to make the text decoration. Call the row and give text decoration none. Sorry, text align center. And for the paragraph, it's text align. Justify. I give important. Not working, so let's remove this. There seems to be a problem. We are almost done. Now what we can do is, where we have display flex, justify content, center, align item, center. We'll use width, margin 0, auto, prepare the center. Doesn't work. Great. Now what we can do is remove this 80% and keep the height and width as 100% so that it match with the parent. Height as 100%, width as 100%. Now you can see it is available. Instead of 25% on columns, we'll use 33. 25 was later. Now why we are getting these spaces, we have to see that. Control minus. We have used width. Zoom in. we have to use min width to automatically adjust with the parent even after screen scroll. Control O. So min width will come here. Great. Let's try to give text align center as we did earlier. For all the rows, it's center. We don't need important. Now we'll give padding. Bottom of 1 rem. If that doesn't work, we can give margin. Why it is not picking the margin? Let's check the console. Okay, it's inside content, not on image holder. That's the reason it was making some useless errors. Likewise, now we can decrease the font size from 6 to 3. So we can add 2 great. Now here text align, justify. Great. Let's add padding on all sides. Let's add font size. If 2 rem is too much, you can make it 1 rem, 1.5 rem. Here also. Let's add margin top, bottom, left, right, 0. Great. That approximately that you can see we are somewhere close. We have to make the color of the paragraph little grayish. On the paragraph we can have color #777. This is grayish. Great. We are somewhat close. Just rearranging the images. Now let's work on the button. Padding 1 rem, color black, background which is green. Let's see how does it looks. Remove the text decoration, none. To add the font weight 600. If I zoom in a bit the PNG, we are somewhat close, except the call bit is little bigger. So if you want, you can make it 22 to see how does it looks. Now that doesn't look cool. We have to make it 27, slightly bigger. Great. Now that's little appealing. You see there is a slight cut here. If you want to inspect it, what you can do is capture the second image, you can increase the height, copy it, paste it, and the height is 91. Now that looks cool. Let's work on the second part, which is again an interesting one. We're going to use Flexbox. So on the dishes we have h3, famous dishes, and we'll have a span tag, the empty one. For the underline, great. Call the dishes. We have h3, and inside h3 we have span. First and foremost thing, we're going to make it display inline so that we can get the required spaces. Then the dishes will have text align center. Not for this one, but for this one. Yep, they're somewhat close. Just increase the font size. Font size as 5 rem, 3 rem. Great. Now on the span, width of 100%, height of 100%, background red. Or what we can do is we'll use a pseudo element instead of span. Copy the whole thing, paste it, and make it after content colon. Then we have width of 100%, height of 100%, background. To check, we'll add red. That still doesn't work. Strange. We'll check. To check the after, here it is. Background is not working. Let's see why. Z index. We will use position absolute, top 0, left 0. To make it work, we have to use the parent position or relative, then copy paste the whole section. Now for our understanding, it should just block the h3. Yes. Now instead of this, we'll make it black, and the width is 100%, and the height is going to be only 10%, and it is bottom, let's say 10%. Close. So instead of black, it's going to be radium green. and we've added the height as 15%. Fine. Now let's work on the grids. Similar to what we have done, we need a row grid class and a call grid 2 times, and then the first one will have two columns. Again, inner row, call 1, just call, paste it twice, and after the inner row we have another inner row that again will have a column of full width, and here it is just an image. We have to add some image, which is 4.jpg. Likewise, press O, 1, 2 and 3. Great. This will be slightly confusing, but anyhow we are going to do it. Inside images, large images will be appearing. Yes, we got the large image. Get the first class and give display flex, and whatever image is there, I want the width, max width to be 50%. So now you can see this is one row, so this is one column and this is one column. Well, that's working. Align items, stretch, so we will get the second column. Inside row we have columns dot call g, nth child of 2, width of 100%, height of 100%. Inside call we have an image. Great. Object fit contain, let's see how does it looks. Cover. Great. We are somewhat close. The one section is done. So before that, let's add margin top of 2 RU, 5 RU. Great, to get some spaces. One section is done. The same way, let's work on the second section, which is inner row. The same way, display flex, Now what we can do is, inside inner row we have images. We'll give the same height with 100%. Now inside inner row we have column, and this column let's see first how does it takes. This is the first guy. I think there is no width here, width 80%, 80 and auto. Actually top bottom we need 4 rem and bottom is 0. Just copy this whole section, paste it. Well, that's great. Now we'll fix the image. If you notice, it is actually working fine, but the image is not up to the mark. What we can do is position absolute, top of 0, left of 0. So to make it work, we have to give column position relative. That seems. Let's try to identify it. Inside that we have a column. We'll give the background color to column. Let's see how does it takes. Let's try to give gap. Inner row. So instead of placing it into another row, we'll have this over here. Now it will look like, you see, 3 of them. We don't need that. What we want is, we have to use flex basis, 50% each. On inner row we have a column, and for parent we have to use flex wrap. Instead of 50% we'll make it 20, 40. Yeah, that's okay. Let's close it now, which is too small. Let's remove this. We are somewhat close. Now we have to make this stretch full width, and we have to get into the child and use flex grow of 1. Well, that seems to be working, but in a wrong way. we need a gap between them. So if you have noticed, we have used the gap. Where is the gap? It's over here. So you have to give it gap over here also to the parent. Close enough. We got it, what we needed. And this is absolutely created with the help of Flexbox. And we should be happy because this is this advanced CSS3 which we have mastered it. So to compare it, this is a screenshot of our created HTML to CS, PSD to HTML, and this is our PSD. Great, isn't it?